Okay, the titration calculation. Titration is a practical method to determine the concentration of an unknown. The recipe for success is to make sure you put your information from the question on a diagram. Titration requires a burette and a conical flask. Let's just check we have our information in the correct spot. Concentration of sodium hydroxide, determine the concentration, so that's our unknown. There's the corresponding volume, 23.2 for sodium hydroxide. Required 25 mils of that concentration sulfuric. So we have our data on our diagram. Now this is purely a 4-step mole concept question. So we're following the standard practice of writing a balanced equation first off to represent the reaction. Notice the subscripts are here. We don't need them for this calculation. We are keen on seeing, however, that 1 mole of sulfuric acid needs 2 moles of sodium hydroxide. Now here's our starting point. Step 2, find the number of moles of the thing we know about. So number of moles is concentration times volume, but notice that I've said moles of specifically sodium hydroxide here, because if you leave it just as moles equals concentration times volume, you confuse which of these 4 things you are speaking about. Putting in our numbers, concentration and volume, notice that the volume's been divided by 1,000 because it must be in litres for this calculation to work. All right, step 2 complete. Step 3, we now know information about sulfuric and we want to know it about sodium hydroxide. So we acknowledge from the equation we have a 1:2 ratio. 1 mole of sulfuric needs 2 moles of sodium hydroxide. But we don't have 1 mole of sulfuric, we've only got that amount. So the corresponding amount of sodium hydroxide would be double it, 0.00576. All right, we're almost there. We're wanting to find the concentration of sodium hydroxide. So we know concentration is number of moles divided by volume. Here's our number of moles, and our volume, clearly shown in the question now, is this one. Substituting in our numbers and remembering, of course, to make sure our volume is adjusted to be in litres, we'll get our final answer of 0.0626 moles per litre for our concentration. Thank you for listening.